Good morning. And to those watching not live, let me take my rock music off here. Hey, good morning to all you watching live. And maybe you're in another country and it's evening. So good evening to you. Good afternoon. Just good. Let's just say it's just good. It's good stuff today. So, yep, that's right. We're here at swimforrecovery.com. Fresh out of the pool. Just did my let's see what's total here. 132nd lap this morning. So it was great in the pool. I was the only guy there again for most of it. And, I forgot my earbuds because I like to listen to music when I swim. And so I forgot my earbuds, but that's okay. It was good. It helps keep the water out, but it was a great swim today. And just excited to be here with you all hanging out for the morning, talking a little about recovery and really cool, like real excited to share Thomas's interview with you today. Great, incredible story. And you don't want to miss tomorrow because there's a tie in to the story tomorrow with the story today. So please, I just want to encourage you to share this post with people you know. Now, what I realized, surprisingly, right? Not really, not everybody is on Facebook. So a lot of people have no clue what's happening. So if you take this swimforrecovery.com, and I will encourage you to text it out to your friends, maybe people in recovery, to get them involved and just see and hear kind of what's going on. So here we are in day 2 of Swim for Recovery. And this month is all about recovery stories. It's about bringing awareness to everyone. I mean, you turn the news on and there's just overdose and addiction and just all the chaos of the struggle, right? But there's also lots of recovery stories, and that's what I want people to hear more of. That's one of the passions behind doing the swimforrecovery.com. So here we are. We're going to show Thomas is here in just a minute. We're going to do some housekeeping things. If you have a story you want to share, right? If you want to share your story during this, shoot me a private message and I'll hook you up with the link and we can get your story captured. So currently right now we have, I think 16 stories already captured. So we're good through September 16th. Actually, 2 of them are going to be later in the month because they have a couple special days in September. They're going to actually air their interview. So, but here we are right now. And again, the pool is awesome this morning. I look forward to putting a kind of a banner at the end of the lane when I'm swimming, so people might ask questions and talk to people about recovery and share some statistics. But first, let's get into Thomas's story. So I'm going to play that for you here right now. And excuse me, if you want to, feel free to make comments, ask questions during the interview. I'll be back in the background live. But anything you need, if you need assistance with addiction and recovery, I'm here to be a resource for you. Just message me as well. And again, we are live right now on YouTube, Twitter, and on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Facebook groups, and also on LinkedIn right now. So wherever you're watching, put a comment in there. Let me know that you're, and Brian Laney gave us a thumbs up for today. Thanks for the like, Brian. Brian's story is actually coming out tomorrow, which I'm excited to share with you. And for me, the reason, again, I'm excited about this because number one, I've been sober 21 years and recovery has not been easy by any means. And addiction completely was awful. So I'll take recovery any day. And so we're going to dive into that and then we'll talk a little bit afterwards. So let me hit play here and bring his story on, and we'll see you shortly. Enjoy the show. All right. Well, welcome to another interview for the swimforrecovery.com campaign, bringing awareness to recovery and breaking the cycles of addiction. So the cool thing is Thomas and I met years ago at our friend Kirk Samuel's book signing event, and it's been too long to connect, man. So good to see you.
Right.
And good to see your beautiful Marlin up there on your wall. And
Thank you.
yeah, so go ahead and give people the name you want to share for the interview today, and then we'll step into it.
You bet. You bet. Thomas Paul Dubois, aka Tommy Boy. I live in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and I'm just fired up about sobriety and glad to be here with you.
That's very exciting. And your sobriety date is?
November 15th of 2001. So
That's
we're
right.
we're heading into 21 years.
Yeah, we're compadres from about a few months off. Mine is July 2001. So
Oh, nice. Yeah,
so that's really
that,
cool. And then
that was a mean year.
yeah. It was a rough one, that was for
Yeah,
sure.
let me tell you.
Oh man, and what was or were your drugs of choice?
Cocaine was definitely the drug of choice. Probably smoked cocaine for about 15 years. Um, uh, but really, I did anything in front of me. But towards the end, I literally, was a deep dark alcoholic to the extent of couldn't function without it.
Mm, yeah, and we'll definitely get to the end of your addiction journey. But
Right.
there could have been something major that happened that got you on this pathway, or just the ambiance of using substance. So, what was it like, kind of before you started using, and then how did you ramp up?
Right. Well, for me, that's a big part of my story that I hope I do have trouble going too deep in. But when I was class president, I was starting quarterback, national, most valuable wrestler, all National Junior Honor Society, all of those sort of things. And I say it this way, and not to be mean to anybody because I blame nobody. But at the ripe age of 14, I was invited over to a ninth grade school house party. And the mother of that household wanted to be our friend instead of our parent and got the whole class drunk. And I stayed drunk from that point forward, literally. I literally was stealing bottles out of my dad's liquor cabinet the next week. And even though that first night I got sicker than a dog, you would have thunk that would have ran away from it, but something attracted me and kept me there. And then it just progressed. It was only drinking. I was considered a cowboy back then, I guess, in Golden, Colorado, and I was only drinking. And I'll never forget catching my friends all smoking pot, and then it just escalated from there. I was an instant addict to it all.
Mm. Yeah, and that's an important message, I think, for parents to hear that
Right,
want to be the friends. And
right.
so, just in a brief synopsis, how would you throw caution to that parent that that's what they want to do?
Well, they don't realize the consequences and the ripple effect of life. So often we're trying to appease at the moment. It goes to that sin thing or that addiction thing that we're trying to appease in the moment, and we don't realize the wreckage and whatnot that can be caused throughout that. Now, do I blame her? Absolutely not. But was that the first thing that was ever put in front of me? And I believe my future was as bright as anything before that day.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we're responsible for ourselves, but when we're
Right.
introduced to things that could be avoided, chances of that happening are limited. So,
Right.
we'll
Could have been a
yeah,
friend the next week. Who
yeah,
knows? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right, yeah. But he'd have cautioned the parents out there. Just not out there. So,
All
all right,
day. Yeah.
so here it was. You were hook, line, sinker, man. You were like in, and then what did it look like up until the day that you surrendered and found recovery?
Well, I kind of, say I was a leader in that world too. So I was slinging dope and making money, and my parents, were going through some things in life. And when I first started being reckless, they couldn't take it. They had been through three grown kids already, and they just weren't in a place that they could keep putting up with it. And so I lived on my own at a very early age. I believe my first apartment was like at 16, and I slung dope to pay for it. And that carried on, and that's how I was this leader that was slinging dope for a lot of years, and by the grace of God, got in all sorts of troubles, but never got caught in a big way, and got caught with a little marijuana in my pocket or something. But I was on paper with about. And one part of my story that I always like to share with people is that I got put into the hospital for one of my times in the hospital, right? Because I'd go in just so they could IV me up to get me back to normal, right? And so I could go back out and do it again. And not meaning to have that drunkalog yet, they put me on Paxil one of those visits, and being a little bit of a bigger guy, they put me on a heavy dose. Well, you don't put somebody on Paxil if they can't afford it, right? And so I couldn't afford it, and I went off of Paxil. And of course, the hero of my friends that I hung around with said, "Oh, well, this will take the edge off." And I took a Xanax, and I relapsed again. And so I kept getting 9 months, 9 months, 9 months was my thing, boy. At 9 months, I'd relapse. At 9 months, I'd relapse. At 9 months, I'd relapse. I never got a year. And so that final day, and I'm sure you're getting to that, is that I saw a guy get a year that I was neck and neck with, and I did not. And it made me so angry that I asked him to sponsor me at a year, and he had a year and he sponsored me, and I surrendered finally.
Wow. Yeah, you kind of like had the pregnancy birth of relapse, like 9 months, here it comes, pop one more out, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
oh man. So,
yeah.
so was it sort of like the competitive nature? And you said, I'm getting a year when you kind of saw that guy get a year?
That's what thinking back on it, I don't think I recognize it to that, but it did piss me off enough to go, why can he do it and I can't? Because I heard his story. He was bleeding out of every orifice when he quit. It was very similar stuff. He was this bearded biker named Don that I said, this tattooed up biker, I hide my tattoos. He didn't hide his, and and I said, if this bearded up biker can do it, I can do it. And I just said, Don, I don't know how you did it, but man, I'm just, I was tired, and I had come close to attempting suicide a couple times. At that point, I was too chicken crap to ever do it, but I knew that I was in trouble. One time I even turned myself into jail because of my bad thoughts. I thought I was going to hurt people, and I turned myself into jail to keep me from doing that. And I'll never forget those times. So the bottom hit many a time for me, and so ashamed of it, but not ashamed of it anymore, right? Because it's been 21 years of helping people out.
Heck yeah. Yeah. And you are too. I know you help a ton of people as well. And so when you started the recovery journey, what did you kind of start doing for fun that gave you some hope that this wouldn't be a drum and dreary journey of no substances?
You know, um, there was one thing that just flies out there. For one, I watched my brother having fun, but there's two things that went on at my clubhouse. So I got sober at a clubhouse called Primary Purpose Club in Arvada, Colorado. And at that clubhouse, there's two things that they did. They called it the Rat Pack. And on Tuesday night, all these very, very high potent sobriety guys, just these wonderful, wonderful men, Jerry and Gary and all these other guys. They actually, with my brother has 7 years more sobriety than me. They actually bought a used limo, and they used to take it, go out to dinner, and then go take a meeting, two meetings. So like a struggling meeting, maybe at Lutheran, or a struggling meeting at down in Denver, that they would go on a Tuesday night, and they would go and pack into a meeting and bring sobriety and bring experience, strength, and hope to them, go to York Street, whatever. And so they'd never met before they ate on that night. And that grew to still today, there's probably 40 or 50 people that go out every single Tuesday.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to hit that. That sounds pretty cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's those inspiring things to say, hey guys, you can have fun in recovery and stuff. But what did you learn about yourself in the first couple years of your recovery journey that you didn't know?
Well, pretty much that I didn't know anything, pretty much that I was so full of dishonesty and manipulation that I just couldn't believe, even looking back now, still having those glimpses every now and then of the real dumb days. I just couldn't believe how manipulative and dishonest I was. It's almost a character trait of being smart, in some ways, because I would manipulate everything, and I was real good at it. And so I was one of the best liars on the planet, and one of the best thieves on the planet and one of the best. I mean, the things that I did are shameful, yet the lesson behind them. And real quickly, one of the other things that we played poker on Friday night at Primary Purpose. Look forward to it all week. I'm sober, but I'm still playing poker. I'm still doing something,
Yeah.
And we would laugh because we'd actually laugh at drunks in the parking lot leaving this bar that was next door. So, but we'd sit there with a bunch of sober guys and have a good time and play poker.
Yeah.
Throw that in there.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you find the things that kind of work, and some guys find out that they can't play poker. I was one of those guys that had cross addictions, and gambling was my thing. And our mutual friend Duke would always at this conference and stuff say, "Hey, Lohman, do you want to come?" I said, "Oh, never mind. I got it right. That's not a good
right."
But some guys, you find those nuances. And so, man, 21 years later, right, of no substances and things, how do you kind of maintain sobriety for, because people think like, oh, I think about getting sober like day one, right? And then you look 21 days later. So what's that kind of look like in your life today?
Right. For one, I just made a dedication to get back to at least a little of more meetings that I've been going to. And but during COVID, I was running a online meeting for 7 days a week. And then did that for all of that time. Dropped it off because it was just attendance thing once life got a little bit back to normal and people realized that we were being lied to. So, did I say that out loud? So, but now I literally, the promises came true for me. So if we're talking about AA, we're talking about the big book. The promises came true for me. Also, what Scripture says is what the enemy steals from you, he'll replace 10 times, and I believe it's been way more than 10 times. So I'm a successful businessman. My grandbabies never see me drunk, and never see me wasting life. I've been able to use that example for them. I've been able to help my own daughter. When I got sober, when my daughter started to make a turn, I was able to be there for her because I had created a successful life in network marketing, and became a successful businessman. Bought my wife a dog grooming shop in Aspen, Colorado, and live in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. I overlook my house overlooks all of Glenwood Springs, and I live a lifestyle of more than enough, and give all the glory to God and all the glory to AA and sobriety, to be honest. And sometimes we get running through life and we forget how much we owe to AA and how much it really was a big difference to me. And I know everybody gets sober different ways, but for me, I kept saying, I don't need it that way. I don't need it that way. I kept saying that over and over again because that's how my brother got sober. So, of course, I was rebelling against what my brother was doing. But I ended up getting sober through AA and through him and through his help. So my brother Bob is a big part of my sobriety, and because he was a pretty bad dude, and if he could get sober, I could get sober. But he proved that a lot longer before I did.
There you go, brother Bob. I love it. And
Brother Bob.
And I'm just gonna take a stab at this. I'm thinking water's important to you because on your left shoulder you have the marlin, on your right shoulder you have Jesus reaching into the water. So
Yes.
is water kind of an important part of your life and in your journey and serenity?
It is. I actually have to play water at night to sleep correctly. The sounds of it's actually the sounds of an island. So it's a deserted island sounds recorded. It's pretty cool. But I live right on the Roaring Fork River. I think that's a beautiful part of it. Love fishing, love all that it brings to it. Love doing some whitewater rafting. Haven't done it in a little while, but anything that we can do to keep our serenity is a good thing. And yeah, I never thought of it, but water comes into play.
Yeah. Sometimes just let the Holy Spirit kind of lead things in my brain. I'll just spit them out. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but whatever. I figured I'd ask you that. So, hey man, thanks for sharing a little bit of your story today and give some hope and inspiration to people for this Swim for Recovery campaign. Obviously it goes way beyond the month of September to inspire people. So we'll use this to keep people pumped up about recovery. So thanks very much, Thomas. Appreciate you.
You betcha. And I say if Tommy Boy can do it, anybody can do it.
There you go. I love it.
All right.
Cool. Thanks, man.
God bless you. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, there you go. Another miracle recovery story by Thomas. So thanks a bunch, Thomas. Yesterday we had Terry on, which is cool. Tomorrow we're gonna have Brian on. And again, if you have a story you want to share, just message me and I'll send you the link to get scheduled to share your story. It's just about 10 minutes or so, and just out here to do that the entire month of September. So we got Labor Day coming up, which is pretty awesome. And if you don't have one already, go grab a copy of my new book, The Addiction Intervention Book. The Addiction Intervention Book. You can grab it on Amazon, or you can just go to addictioninterventionbook.com. It's half off this weekend for Labor Day, kind of Labor Day special. So go check that out. Also, just go hang out on swimforrecovery.com. You can hear more about kind of my story a little bit on, when I was in high school. I'd actually made the state swim team as an alternate on the medley relay. And then I had to make a decision to, stop drinking before a practice or stop swimming. And I chose to stop swimming. And who knows if I could have become a great Olympic swimmer like Amy Van Dyken. If you've seen her video yet, she totally is supporting the swimforrecovery.com campaign. But enjoy that as well. Go to swimforrecovery.com. We are part of this is hoping to definitely raising awareness. So tomorrow we'll talk about some statistics and things going on in the addiction world and recovery, but also to help support people that can't afford sober living scholarships or counseling or coaching or therapy and all the Lifted from the Rut programs. So there's a way you can support that. We're swimming 1,980 laps, which is pretty cool. I am for the entire month of September. And if you donate at least 10 cents a lap, that's $198. I'll send you a copy of my book. And got something really cool coming out for the kind of like the was it 25 cents a lap people. So wherever you are, hey, it's just here to spread awareness. But if you want to support the cause, you can do that at swimforrecovery.com also and make a tax deductible donation. So we appreciate that. Please share, like it says right here, please share this post because people don't know about it. And then also, people are having some cool success getting people excited about just texting people the swimforrecovery.com, www.swimforrecovery.com, and just get people engaged to check things out that aren't on social media and Facebook and stuff like that. So, hey, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow around 9:30-ish. Again, going live. And that's all we got for today. So, God bless. Have a great day. And if you need help with just finding treatment, or you're stuck in recovery, or you just need resources, just give me a call or go send me a message, reach out to me. And you can always go check out all the resources at liftedfromtherut.com. That's it for now. We'll see you tomorrow.